Metal is the chemical element characterized by being a good conductor of heat and electricity. They also have the capacity of reflecting light, and this gives them some special luster. This is because there is an overlap between the valence band and the conduction band in its electronic structure, which is called a metallic bond. Metals possess high densities and are solid at normal temperatures, except for mercury. The term metal refers to both pure elements and the mix of metals, which are called alloys. The metal include most of the periodic tables of elements and separate the non-metals by a diagonal between the boron and polonium. Compared with non-metals, have low electronegativity and low ionization energy, making it easier for electrons and yield metal harder than the gain. Thank you.
Minerals have certain physical characteristics. Among them are electrically and conductive. Most of them are gray, but some have different colors. For example, bismuth is pink, copper is red, and gold is yellow. In other metals, it occurs more than one color. This phenomenon is called polychromism. Other properties are malleability. Metals capacity shifts when made subject to compression stress. Ductility. Woven metals and wires molded into a wire when subjected to tensile stresses. Toughness. Resistance to breaking metals or resisting certain forces, for example bombs. Mechanical strength. Ability to withstand tensile stresses, understanding, twisting, and bending without deforming or breaking. They tend to be opaque or metallic luster, have high density and ductile malleability, has high melting point, are hard and good conductors of heat and electricity. Science defines a metal material as a material in which there is overlap between the valence band and the conductor band. In its electronic structure, a metallic bond, this gives you the ability to conduct heat and electricity easily, and usually the ability to reflect light, which gives it a distinctive luster.
Processing. The metal covers almost all elements of the periodic table. Each is processed and refined different. The most used is steel, which comes from iron. Production of iron. The ore is a mineral that is mined from the earth. These include hematite, magnetite, limonite, siderite, and limestone. These have a high percentage of iron and are used for steel making. Coke is a fuel with high concentration of carbon, which performs two functions in the reduction process. The first one provides heat for the chemical reactions. The second one produces carbon monoxide to reduce iron ores. The limestone is characterized by the containing high proportion of calcium carbonate again used to remove iron from its ore. To produce iron is dropped on the top of a blast furnace. A charge of iron ore, coke, and limestone in this furnace is passed a stream of hot gases at a high velocity from the bottom of the combustion chamber, and for reducing iron, the burden falls slowly from the top of the base of the oven, reaching temperatures of 3000 Fahrenheit degree. The heat makes a combustion of coke. The iron is melted and is stored in the base of the furnace. It's called pig iron. Is used to fix stock in the production of steel. In the production of steel, the first is that the iron gets processed into steel. Scrap is also used as a raw material for manufacture of steel. There exist two kinds of ovens to make steel. The basic oxygen furnace and the electric arc furnace. Both are used to produce carbon steel alloy. The flux used in the lime kiln is basic in the electric arc furnace limestone.
The process for the end of the steel. The continuous casting occurs when the liquid steel is poured into a mold whose background disposable section has the way we want it to have the final product, like a square, round, triangular, and plate. The continuous casting is called because the product goes non-stop until just the contents of the bucket. So this method saves a lot of money and you don't know these molds consume less power. Ingot casting. The steel is poured into a mold or molds that have a particular form and solidifying of cooling and give a desired product for processing. The stainless steel is briefed is an alloy of iron and carbon, repeatedly adding other elements such as manganese, chromium, nickel, and molybdenum to have other properties, but the main element is carbon. This is the one that transforms the iron. The metal is referred to steel with the following properties. The metals are electropositive, have a crystalline structure, and are isotopic.